Uh, New chapters, and there's a fucking time skip. God damn it, man. Okay, time skip number 3, shifting tides. All right, let's do it. Celestia sat bolt upright, awake in bed, clutching her arm as sweat dripped down her face. "Oh, sis, it's okay," Carson gently squeezing her hand. She wasn't in their room anymore. She was in the clinic. The faint smell of medicine hung in the air. The general smell of medicine. Uh, a heavy blanket against her legs. Her breath trembled as she looked around, trying to figure out how she got here. "Been out for a while," Carson whispered as he took a relieved sigh. His thumb brushed the back of her head, bringing her back to the moment. The door swung open and Serenity stepped in. "You're awake!" She walked in, sitting on the chair beside Carson. Celestia opened her mouth to speak, but nothing came out. Her throat was dry and scratchy. Serenity poured a glass of water from a pitcher at the bedside table and set it down slowly into her hands. Carson smiled at his sister. "We were so worried about you." Celestia sipped from the glass carefully, the cool water easing the dryness in her voice, but not the ache in her chest. Her hands trembled, setting the cup back down before she could spill it. Serenity reached forward, brushing damp strands of hair from Celestia's face. "Don't push yourself. Just breathe, sweetheart." "How long have I been here?" Celestia rasped, her voice barely more than a whisper. Serenity and Carson shared a glance. He squeezed her hand again. "A few weeks. You've been sleeping." The words pressed heavy against her, sinking deeper than the blanket ever could. "A few weeks?" She tried to remember what happened, but her mind wasn't cooperating. "There's nothing to worry about. Me and your brother are just glad you're doing better," Serenity said softly. Fletcher's fingers curled into a blanket. A few weeks. It felt unreal. I missed ghosts. Ghosts in my house. "I missed a lot," she murmured, blinking back the stinging in her eyes. "No, don't cry, sis. Me and Mom stay with you every day." Serenity nodded, her hand resting lightly over Celestia's knee. "You were never alone. We made sure of that." Gaze wandered toward the door. Did did anyone else come?" There was a pause. Carson shifted in his seat before nodding. "Some of the villagers stopped by. They wanted to know how you were doing." And he hesitated, blurring his eyes. "Dad checked in too." Serenity gently brushed her hand across Celestia's cheek. "You don't need to think about any of that right now. What matters is that you're awake and you're safe." Yes, Celestia swallowed hard, her throat still sore. The safety her mother promised didn't feel too reassuring. She lay back against the pillow, staring at the light beams above as if they might give her answers her memory refused to. "Do you remember any of it?" Carson asked quietly. Celestia couldn't say it. The more she tried to remember, the more foggy her mind got. Felt, I mean. I. Her voice cracked as she shook her head. "No. We can worry about that after you let yourself heal. Get some rest. We'll be here when you wake up again." Serenity adjusted the blanket around Celestia's shoulders to comfort her better. Carson squeezed her hand one last time, forcing a smile to help her feel even just a little bit better. "Yeah, I'll fill you in on everything you missed later." Celestia tried to smile back at her brother, but she didn't have the energy to waste pretending to be fine. Okay, she whispered quietly, turning over, hoping at least to get some decent sleep. Once she closed her eyes, exhaustion hit her almost instantly, but she wasn't asleep yet. She couldn't move her body either. It was heavy and unresponsive. All she could do was listen as she heard the door creak as someone walked into the room. Miss Solis, a man's voice murmured. She heard Serendi's chair shift. How is she doing? She's stable for now, but you can't really explain what caused it. There was no fever or infection. Her vitals fluctuate strangely, like her body's fighting off something you can't see nor identify. There was a pause. She could almost picture her mother's worried face. She's always been sensitive, but this is different. Almost 3 weeks for randomly being unconscious? There's really nothing to diagnose? A few pages turned. Unfortunately, no. She's scarily healthy. Scary healthy. Shit. No, none of that. It's like her mind decided to suddenly shut down. I don't have an exact medical term for this. The fact that she woke up at all is a miracle on its own. So you're not sure if it'll happen again. We can't promise it won't. A few footsteps and the click of the door before silence filled the room, only hearing the soft ticking of the clock on the wall. Tears fall down Celestia's face. Was she gonna be like this forever? I was scared to think about it. She couldn't reach out for help because no one, not even herself, understood what was going on. Not being able to hold on to something for cover made it even more unbearable. Hey sis? Carson's voice broke through her despair. I know you can't hear me, but I was so happy when you woke up, even if it was just 5 minutes, 'cause I miss you. She felt her brother's hand against hers. Scared me, you know? Me and Mom, we thought. Carson's voice cracked, trying to keep it together, to keep it steady. Sounded like he wanted to cry too. We thought we lost you. His words lingered in the air as he squeezed Celestia's hand again. He wanted to tell her brother that she heard his worried cries, tell him that she was okay. But was she really? 3 weeks. She felt his fear. The thought of leaving him behind in this cruel world hit her like a wall of bricks to the heart. Tears welled up again for just the thought of it. Please don't leave me, he said quietly. Don't leave us. I'll stay here. I'll wait as long as it takes for you to get better. Jesus. Just in a fucking coma for 3 weeks. Healing Steps Part 1. The lights shined on Celestia's face as she rubbed her eyes. She turned over to Serenity and Carson sleeping peacefully. Her brother was resting on her mother's lap. She looked as if she was running her hand through his hair before falling asleep. They really did stay all day for me. The door clicked open and a man stepped inside with a clipboard. Good evening, Celestia. Glad to see you're finally awake. Did you sleep okay? She sat up, still a little dazed. Yeah. The voice a tad softer than she wanted. The man smiled warmly at her as he walked over and poured her a glass of icy water. That's great to hear. I'm going to be your physical therapist. Name's Dr. Corbin. He handed Celestia the glass, setting the pitcher back down. She took the glass carefully, taking a sip of cool water. Thank you. The doctor checked his clipboard. Seems like you've been through quite a lot in such a short amount of time. Take it easy for tonight. Some simple exercises to get your body used to moving again. Let's start with some stretches. Celestia set the glass back down. moving the blanket aside so she could slide out of bed. Once her legs touched the ground, she almost collapsed, but she pulled herself back up. You need help? No, sir. Leaning against the bed for support. Alrighty then. Stretch until you feel a pull. Not too much. Put his clipboard down to demonstrate. Followed his instructions, lifting her arms up. Now hold it as long as you can. Celestia winced a bit from how stiff her muscles were. Yes, just like that. Dr. Corvin took some notes on his clipboard before setting it back down. Now let's try rolling your shoulders next. Celestia mirrored his movement again, rolling her shoulders slowly. Body felt heavy and uncooperative, but the first few times were easier. Good, he encouraged her as he jotted down more notes. Each time you will feel the tension loosen a little more. You'll be surprised at how quickly your body's remember was like. You'll be surprised at how quickly your body remembers what it's capable of. Celestia let out a shaky breath as she lowered her arms. She glanced over at Serenity and Carson, both still sound asleep. The quiet rise and fall of her breathing filled the room, comforting yet strange against the silence between each of her movements. Dr. Corvin tilted his head slightly steadier. You're very resilient, he said, almost admiring. Most children your age would have given up halfway through that first stretch. But thank you, sir. I had a lot of encouragement from others. Celestia looked up at him with hope in her eyes. The guy seemed really good at his job. That kind of mindset will serve you well in recovery. He gave her a smile, scribbling onto the clipboard. Now let's try standing now without the bed support. She hesitated. But it's okay to be afraid of falling. That's what I'm here for. To help you. Eventually, Celestia let go of the bed. Her legs trembled a bit as she took deep breaths to help focus. 1, 2, 3. She counted to herself silently as Dr. Corvin carefully watched her. You're doing great. Try taking a few steps forward to me. His arms open, ready to catch her just in case she fell. She fixed her eyes on the doctor. 4. She took a slow step forward, spreading her arms to help balance herself better. 5, 6. With each number, she put another foot in front of the other. Gently fell into Dr. Corvin after reaching 20. He steadied her, gently putting a hand on her shoulder. That was incredible, Celestia. You should be proud of yourself. Would you like to get some fresh air outside? Oh, sure. Should we wake up Mom first? That won't be necessary. We won't be out for very long. He offered her his hand. Ready? This guy seems very nice. Either he's incredibly evil or he's gonna fucking die. That's my prediction. I need to go get some water. I'll be right back. Merp, 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 merp. All right. Celestia held Dr. Corvin's hand as he led her out into the night. The moon seemed to sparkle as they both stepped outside. All right, Celestia, he started. Last test for tonight. We're just gonna walk this path back and forth once. She nodded hesitantly, letting herself be guided along the narrow dirt path. The night air was cool. The familiar sounds of crickets and rustling leaves made it almost peaceful. Just back and forth, her hand still gripping his. Exactly. Her pride with a warm smile. You're doing wonderfully. Every step strengthens your balance. Soon enough, walking like this will feel natural again. Let's just try to match the steps, feeling a little steadier than before. I I think I'm getting the hang of it. A small smile tugging at her lips. That's my brave girl. You're stronger than you think. We're almost there, just a little further. The path curved slightly, shadows from the trees stretching along and then across the ground. Celestia didn't notice the subtle shift in air and the faint tension creeping around them. All she saw was a smiling face, calm and patient. Just a few more steps, Celestia, Dr. Corvin said, squeezing her hand gently. And then we'll take a little breather. Somewhere in the distance, a tree branch snapped. Footsteps could be heard crunching the leaves, but Corvin didn't flinch. The old tree stood in front of them, signaling the end of the path. Good job, Celestia. I'm so proud of you. Just one more test before we head back. Can you do that for me? Sure. What are we gonna do? The doctor slid his clipboard under his arm, letting go of her hand and resting both of his on her shoulders. We're going to perform a trust exercise. Close your eyes. Celestia looked up at him puzzled. Close my eyes? That's right. Just stand nice and tall for me and don't move. Her lips pressed together, but she slowly obeyed, the cool night breeze brushing against her cheeks. Good, very good, Dr. Corbin mumbled, his hand squeezing her shoulder slightly. More footsteps, heavier and closer than this time. They seemed to be heading straight for them. Doctor, keep still. Celestia's eyes fluttered open just in time to see two men rushing towards her. She tried to step away, but Corvin held her in place. Doctor? Celestia yelped, struggling against his grip. Easy now, he said calmly though his hold only tightened around her. Don't fight it. Before she could scream, the two men reached her. Rough hands seized her wrists, jerking them behind her back. The rope scraped against her skin as they pulled it tight. Oh God, here we go. Stop! Let me go! Stop! Man, I just don't want to scream right now. I'm not even gonna attempt to scream right now. Uh, stop! Let me go! She cried, kicking wildly as her voice started cracking. Mama! Carson! Ah! Her legs gave out on her. The men pinned her down and tied her ankles together. Raven crouched beside her, his face still wearing that unnerving smile. You've done so well for tonight's session. Don't waste what strength you have left just yet. Celestia cried as she twisted, trying to get loose. It was no use. Shh. The doctor wiped away the few tears. You serve a greater purpose than you realize. He brushed a strand of hair from her face. What do you, what do you mean? Tell them to let me go. Tell them to let go of me. Govind didn't answer. He rose his feet, signaling the others to lift her over their shoulders. Don't make this harder than it needs to be, he said coldly, gagging her before sending them off into the shadows of the forest. I knew he was evil. I fucking called it, man. I, like immediately knew he was gonna be evil or he was gonna die. He's fucking evil. God damn it. Okay, here we go. Last chapter for now. I can see why this took a while. Jesus Christ. Celestia's muffled cries echoed as the men continued walking deeper into the woods. The rope sank into her wrist every time she struggled against it. Behind them, Dr. Corvin walked in time with the men. He still had the clipboard tucked under his arm. Keep her steady, he murmured, his tone flat but still authoritative. One of the men adjusted his grip on Celestia's legs, mumbling to himself. I said careful, River. So what if she's all banged up? He shot back. You're still gonna get there regardless. She's not some package man, the other guys chimed in. If we somehow manage to fuck this up, enough you two. Corvin pushed past the two guys, walking up to an abandoned warehouse. The air seemed to have gotten thicker, carrying the scent of rusted metal and decaying wood. Dropping your count? River, come on, dude. No fun, Hank. There was a rustle in the bushes. The three guys were on edge immediately. A group of villagers charged them with a few questionable weapons in hand, a pitchfork, some kitchen knives, and some sharp pencils. Hank laughed. You must stay this, Mick. This is ah fuck. I messed that up. They must think this is a joke. Corvin gave an annoying sigh. I'll handle this. River turned to him quickly. Oh, hell no. You always get the apple. Oh, I did that by accident. I'm sorry. Where were we? River turned to him quickly. Oh, hell no. You always get to have all the fun. She left Celestia in his hands, giving Corvin no choice but to grab her before she hit the ground. Sit back and watch the show for once. He cracked his knuckles before turning back around. River and Hank turned to each other, giving an encouraging nod before disappearing. The villagers looked puzzled, Celestia's heart pounding as she watched how half the rally get decapitated in an instant. Ah! Screamed Screams echoed through the trees as the remaining tried to retreat, but unfortunately they were too slow. Aw, poor things. River and Hank laughed as they high-fived, ste- stepping through the small pile of heads. Jesus fucking Christ. It's just like chaotic evil. Could have used some work, but whatever, I guess. Whatever works, I guess. Corvin turned his back to them. You some work. You've got some there, just saying. It was messy. But now's not the time. We have more important matters to attend to now. The lights flickered as the trio hauled Celestia inside the building. Corvin sat her into a chair before walking deeper into the warehouse. The cold burning the Celestia's skin. Now I think that works. She pulled at her restraints, moving the chair as she desperately tried to run while she had the chance. River slammed her back into the chair. Damn! Quit your squirming, girl. You ought to know when you've lost a battle. So fucking mean. Hank walked over with a few restraints and tied Celestia's hands to the cold arms of the chair. She screamed against the gag, thrashing so hard the chair legs scraped across the concrete floor. River laughed, bracing his weight on the back of the chair to pin it in place. She's got spirit, I'll give her that. She can struggle all she wants, Hank muttered, buckling the last strap into the place. He gave her bound hands a tug to the test to hold. She's not going anywhere. Celestia yanked and pulled, her arm straining against the leather until it tore into her skin. Her breath came in sharp, panic bursts, eyes darting wildly around the dim, flickering space until they locked onto something. No, wait. It was moving towards her. Slow-sounding footsteps echoed into the pounding Celestia's heart. A tall figure emerged from the shadows, their hoods drawn low, face hidden behind a dark blue mask. Boss? The kidnapper strained uneasily at his presence. Celestia's Solace. So's you, huh? He crouched in front of Celestia, tilting his head to study her. She shrank back into her chair, crying softly as she held her breath. You hold my creation within you? I would have thought you'd be older at least. He removed the gag from her mouth. Who are you people? Celestia screamed in his face. Your father knows very well who we are. But I still don't understand. He leaned back, fixing his gloves. How are you still alive? What are you talking about? I don't understand. What meant to survive, child? My creation should have hauled you out that night by the river, and yet here you are, still breathing and fighting, keeping my stolen power caged inside you. I don't have anything of yours, Celestia shouted back, her voice cracking. He chuckled. Oh, little vessel, you do feel it, don't you? His gloved hand hovered over just above her chest, not touching it, but close enough that she could feel the weight of his intent. It was supposed to be mine to command, but I suppose fate does indeed have special plans for everyone. Celestia's stomach twisted, fear trying to claw its way up her throat. I don't want your stupid power. If you want it, then take it. I don't care. She kicked him in the face with her shoe. He didn't expect her to strike him. She was breathing hard from all the effort it took to damage him, but he simply coughed and spat the blood on the ground. You think this is what I wanted? Just a single word was laced. That single word was laced with a thick layer of venom. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you want, Celestia. Your monster inside you answers only to me. He pulled his fist back to his side suddenly, Celestia feeling some type of tug in her gut as she was pulled toward him a bit. Before Celestia could reply, a voice rang out from beyond the warehouse doors. Over there! In here! Shouts followed as the crowd gathered in front of the doors they left cracked open. River cursed under his breath. How we handled the ones onto us. The man rose slowly, unbothered by the growing noise outside. I guess it's finally time then. Took a radio and pressed the side button. Code Blue. Rally up in the middle. He stepped back from where he came, retreating into the darkness, just as the door slammed open. Lantern light spilled into the warehouses. A dozen villagers stormed inside, armed with pitchforks, sickles, and axes. Their faces were their faces tight with fury and fear. Jesus fucking Christ, dude. How and the girl over? One of them barked. Now! Hank smirked, cracking his knuckles. Why don't you come and take her yourself? As the two guys fought off the attacking villagers, Small Soup snuck out of range over to their captive. Celestia? Laura, what are you doing here? Laura gave her a smile before a boy pushed her down, a flying axe barely missing their heads. Well, it's good to see you too. Laura ran over to grab the axe as the boys pulled out a pocket knife to cut at the rope and restraints holding Celestia to the chair. Meanwhile, steel clashed against each other. Pieces of the whole building started falling, some pieces landing on a few unlucky villagers. River threw a villager he was holding into the falling log. Ah! They went with immediately. The boys managed to cut her free as Laura carried the axe over. Celestia staggered at her feet, her legs trembling from being bound for so long. Laura caught her by the arms before she could fall. Come on, we don't have much time. Hank's fist slammed into the villager's jaw, sending him sprawling. River ducked under another swing, eyes catching the flash of Celestia being pulled away. They're taking her, Hank! Run faster! One of the boys urged, shoving Celestia towards the far exit. They dodged swinging blades and collapsing beams, dust raining from the rafters with every strike. Celestia clung to Laura's hand, her chest burning, but she tried to help however she could. Almost there! The back door burst open, spilling the children out into the cool night. The cool night air. The wind hit Celestia's face, but her relief was cut short from River's furious voice shouting after them, "Don't let her get away!" They sprinted into the forest, the crack of branches as they stumbled through. Just when Celestia thought her legs would give out, some of the beams of light swept across the woods from ahead. Hold! Jesus. Figures stepped into view, uniformed men and women with rifles, raised lanterns strapped to their belts. Their military badges glinted off their shoulders. The children stopped in front of them, panic freezing them in place. And then they all got shot. No. Then Celestia's eyes widened. Carson! Celestia! Her brother broke her brother broke free from the protective grasp of one soldier, running forward to throw his arms around his sister. Serenity was right behind, crying as she cradled both her kids in her arms. Celestia, always me, baby. Their mother's voice cracked, holding her so tightly Celestia could barely breathe. One of the officers lifted a hand to her earpiece. Target recovered. Repeat, the mayor's family has been recovered. We're heading to the house now. Behind them, distant shouts still echoed through the forest, the phantom bloods cutting through anyone who stood in their way. The officer's jaw tightened. We can't stay here. Let's get moving. The unit quickly closed ranks around the family and children, guiding them into the night. Celestia glanced back once, the burning glow of the warehouse flickering through the trees. River's furious roars carrying into the dark. What the fuck? Jesus Christ! You might give me a heart attack. I mean, everything worked out. Everyone we care about is okay. I assume. I assume Laura's with us as well. Is that? It's another ghost, or maybe it's my cat trying to break into my room. That was intense. I need, I need more water. What the fuck do the Phantom Bloods need Celestia for? Oh god. Okay. That was very intense. If you can tell by my horrible narration skills. That was a lot. Jesus. That was really something. That was really something. Jesus Christ. Okay. Well, I guess we'll wait until the next chapter, which is probably in 5 years. Alright.